Okay, well, hello everyone, and thank you for coming to the next Tech Help class that we're holding here at the Santa Clara City Library. My name is John, and I'm an employee here with the Technology Center at the library. And today I'm going to be showing you how to check out eBooks and other online resources using Hoopla. So this is going to be a 35-minute class, and there'll be two times for questions. There'll be a break in the middle, and then we'll answer the rest of the questions at the end of the class. At any point, if you have a question, you can use the Q&A feature on Zoom. There's a button at the bottom of your screen, and you can type the question in there, and we will answer it during one of the times during the class that we'll answer questions. And in case we either run out of time to answer questions, or you have some that come up later, you can always come into the Technology Center at the Central Park branch of our library anytime during open hours, and we can give you one-on-one help using Hoopla or any other technology-related things. So, like I said, I'm going to be showing you how to use Hoopla, but before we dive into that, I'll take a second to just talk about what eBooks are. So unlike a regular book where you would, come into the library and then you check it out and then you'd have to physically bring it back before it's due, eBooks, you do all of that online through either a website or a mobile app on your phone. And at the Santa Clara City Library, we have a couple of different services that you can use to check out eBooks, but today we're going to be looking at how to use Hoopla. So I will first, we can go to our Santa Clara City Library website. So that'll be sclibrary.org. And this is a way that we can access Hoopla. And once you get there, go to sclibrary.org. We can work on getting started with registering and using this service. So once you're on the library website, to access Hoopla, you can hover your mouse over where it says Books and More. And then in this second column under Digital Library, you can click on the text that says Hoopla. And that will take you right here to Hoopla's website. And if this is the first time you've ever used Hoopla before, you'll be on this page right here. And all you have to do is click on this button here that says Get Started. And this will start the process of creating an account in order to access all of the resources on Hoopla. Okay, so once we clicked the button, we see this screen here. As it says, all you need is a library card number, and to make an account on Hoopla, you'll also need a valid email address. So once you have those two things ready, you can click on the button here that says Let's Go. And the first thing it'll ask you to do is select the library that you're registering with. So since this is the Santa Clara City Library, you can select the option right here. And in case you don't see it, you can click in this text box and start typing out Santa Clara City Library, and you should see it right up near the top. Okay, so after you've selected it like this, you can click on the button that says Next, and that'll move to the next step of creating an account. Okay, so here, it's asking you for your library card number. So this is the number underneath the barcode on the back of your library card. And you'll just type that whole number into here. And I'll be typing in my number, but be sure that you are typing in the number on your own library card, because this won't work if you use the number that either I'm using or somebody else is using for their library card. I'll give people a few moments to type that in. Okay, and then once you have that number typed into the text box, you can just click on Next. And now, to finish up registering an account, you'll just need to type in your email and then create a password for your account. This email and password is what you're going to use to log in anytime you want to use Hoopla after you've created this account. So if you wanted to log in again at a later time, or if, say, you wanted to log in on a different device. So I will type in my email right here. And then just a reminder that if you have questions at any point during the class, you can use the Q&A feature. There's a button for it at the bottom of your Zoom window, and you can type in a question there and we can answer it during the break in either the middle of the class or at the end. Okay, and then once you've typed in your email and created a password for your account, you can click the button that says Complete Registration. And then that will create your account. And we see some information here. The Hoopla offers audiobooks, movies, music, comics, and eBooks. So there's lots of different stuff, and I'll show you how to access all of those in just a moment. And you can click on the Get Started button to finally access Hoopla. So what we see here is just the home page. It has a bunch of recommendations and stuff you might want to browse through and check out. But let's say there's a specific book that you wanted to check out and read using Hoopla. If you wanted to find a specific book, you can use the search bar at the top of the screen. So you can click the mouse just in this box here, and then you can start searching for the name or the author of that book. So, let's say I wanted to check out a Harry Potter book. I could press Harry Potter or type Harry Potter right here, and then either press enter or click on the magnifying lens to do the search. And what we see is a bunch of Harry Potter books. And now let's say what I was looking for was an ebook, which is just the text of it. There's no music. It's not an audiobook or anything like that. And instead of scrolling through all of this to find the one that I wanted to make sure this only showed ebooks. You can filter by format to only show ebooks by clicking on this format option in the top left. And that'll show you all of the different types of formats that Harry Potter items come in. And I can select ebooks to just show the Harry Potter ebooks. So let's say that this book right here is the one that I wanted. I can click on it, and that will open it up in its own page. And in order to borrow this book or to check it out, all you have to do is once you have the page open, click on this button down here that says borrow. It'll ask you for your share, and it'll tell you that this title is available for 21 days. And if that's what you want to do, you can click where it says borrow title. Okay. And after you've borrowed it, it'll be yours for 21 days. And to read it, you can just press the read button. And then this will take you right to the book, and you can start reading it right here in your browser. And you can use the arrow keys or click over on the edge of the page to flip through the different pages. And as you see here, we have the book right here after we checked it out. A few things you can do on this page. You can read it like this, but, let's say maybe the text is a little small or you don't really like the way it's formatted. There's a few options you can change to do that. And you can get to those options by clicking the 3 lines in the top left of the screen. And once you click on that, go to the settings. And there's many options you can change, but one that might interest you is this text size slider. So if you want to make the text bigger, you can just move the slider to the right. And you see now in the background, text has gotten much bigger and easier to read. So that settings window up in this menu in the top left has many different options you can play with. to get the book looking just how you like it. Something else that's nice about eBooks is they will save your spot where you're reading. So, let's say you had read this far, but you wanted to exit out of this and come back later. You wouldn't need to worry about like putting a bookmark in or remembering page numbers. After you exit out, you can come back to this page and notice how this button says resume. When you click on the resume button, it'll open up the book and it'll put you right back to where you were reading last time. Okay, so now that we've seen how to access books through Hoopla's website, there's actually a different way of accessing that might be a little bit more convenient. Instead of going through Hoopla specifically, you can actually just do a search on the Santa Clara City Library catalog. And if that book that you're searching for is available as an ebook on Hoopla, it'll show up in the list of other results in the catalog. So I'm back on the Santa Clara City Library website. And in this search catalog box at the top of the screen, I can do that same search for Harry Potter. Okay, so here we see a bunch of Harry Potter books, but obviously as this is just the library's general catalog, we see a lot of physical books and other things like that. So if I wanted to just sort by digital ebooks, similar to how we did on Hoopla, I can go to the left side of the screen under the format section, and then just check the box next to ebook. And now this list will only show ebooks. And as we see, as we scroll down, some of these ebooks which are available on Hoopla, like this one right here, has a button that just says check out now on Hoopla. And from the library catalog right here, all you need to do to open that in Hoopla is just click on the Hoopla button. And you see it will take you right to that book's page on Hoopla. So now if you wanted to borrow this book, after you've opened it from the catalog, you can click on the borrow button and borrow title, just like how we showed when we found the other Harry Potter book through Hoopla directly. So just whichever way is more convenient to you, both of those are ways that you can check out an ebook using Hoopla. Okay, I think we have time for a couple of questions.
All right, so, and hello everybody, my name is Paul. I'm just helping John out with the class, doing some of the background tech stuff, and I'm going to read off a couple of questions that we got. One of them is, does Hoopla work on mobile and desktop?
Yeah, great question. So Hoopla does work on mobile and desktop. Right now, what I'm showing you is the desktop version. So this is, accessed through a website, and you can use it on a computer. Later on in the class, though, I'll also show you how to access Hoopla on mobile phones. And to do that, you'll use the Hoopla app. And both of them work the same way. You can do all the same things. It's just whichever one is more convenient for you to use.
Awesome. We also have the question, what is kids mode?
Okay, so kids mode, which you see this button up here, what that'll do is it'll mostly just filter the sorts of books and movies and such that you see on the Hoopla homepage to be ones that a kid might enjoy instead of these more adult recommendations that you see here.
Awesome. And last question that I see for now is, does Hoopla work on Amazon Fire?
Yeah, so unlike some other ebook services such as Libby or Overdrive, if you use those, Hoopla doesn't let you send books to other services such as Kindle. In Amazon Fire specifically, you can use the Hoopla app to, because an Amazon Fire is more of a tablet than just an e-reader, you can use the Hoopla app to read your Hoopla books on that device. But if you had, say, just like a regular Kindle, or you wanted to use the Kindle app on your phone, you wouldn't be able to send Hoopla books to like a Kindle library the same way you would with some other ebook services.
All right, we've had a couple more questions come in. So one of them is, after you've checked out a book from Hoopla with the mobile app, can you read or listen to it offline?
Yeah. So when you check out a book using Hoopla, you have the option to download it, and that will save it onto your device. So you can read it, or if this is, like a movie, you can download it and watch it with no internet or cell connection. It'll be saved onto your device and accessible without being directly connected to the internet.
Okay, and the last question I see is, how do I download? I think the question is asking, how do I download, if I were to get an ebook or an audiobook on my web browser, is it possible to download it to my desktop computer? Which is a great question.
Yeah. So on a desktop computer, the only way to read, say these like ebooks that I checked out is through the website. There's no way to just download, say like an EPUB or a PDF of this book. You're going to have to read it through the Hoopla website.
Okay. And an addendum to that question is it possible to download Hoopla itself to the desktop, like you download the mobile app to a mobile device?
Yeah, good question. I don't believe that Hoopla has a desktop application. So if you're using a desktop computer, you'll have to be in a browser accessing Hoopla's website.
Okay, great questions, everybody. That is all we have for now, John. So we can, I think, move on to showing everybody how the mobile app works.
Great. Yeah, so now what we'll do is we can switch to the mobile app. Okay, so here we are in the Hoopla mobile app. And I'm going to walk you through checking out a couple of different kinds of online resources using the mobile app. But as you'll see, it'll look very similar to what we showed on the desktop. And like I said before, you can do all of the same things that you can do on desktop on the mobile app as well. So if this is the first time you're downloading and opening up the mobile app, you'll be on this page right here. You can see that I'm not logged in yet, but remember on the desktop, we just created an account. So in order to log into this account, you can press the login button in the top right, and we can put in the email address and password of our account. So I'm going to type in my email address, but to log into your own account, be sure to type in your own email address and password. Right. And then you can type in the password. And then once you've typed in the email address and password, you can just press the blue sign in button, and that will log you into your account. And after we've logged in, we see this page with the similar recommendations that looks just like it did on the desktop. And one interesting thing that I want to point out is at the top of this page, we see this recently borrowed section, and we see the two books that we just checked out on desktop now showing up on the phone as well. So Hoopla will synchronize the books that you've checked out across all of the devices where you're logged in. So you can, check out a book and start reading it on your desktop, and then later on, open up Hoopla on your phone and continue off with right where you were on desktop, reading that same book on your phone. So it'll synchronize your activity across all of your different devices. But now let's say that we wanted to check something out new on the phone. We can do that either by searching using this third panel at the bottom of your screen, and then you just tap in this text box and do a search. Or let's say you weren't sure exactly what you wanted, but you knew you wanted to, let's say I was wanting to check out an audiobook. I could just browse all of the different audiobooks that Hoopla offers by going to this top ribbon right here and tapping on the button that says audiobooks. And now this will show me a bunch of recommended audiobooks that I might want to check out. So I can select one here. Like, let's say this is one that seems interesting to me. And we see the same options that we saw on desktop, where if we want to borrow this book to check it out, we can press right here where it says borrow. It'll ask us to confirm that we want to do this, and we say, yes, I want to borrow this title. And then now this audiobook has been checked out and added to our Hoopla account. And like that question was asking earlier, we see there's a button that says tap here to download. If you wanted to listen to this offline, like, let's say you were going on a plane trip or something, and you wouldn't have internet access, you could press this button that says tap here to download, and it will save this audiobook onto your phone so you can listen to it whenever you wanted, even if you didn't have internet access. But to listen to this audiobook, similar to how we read the ebook, all you have to do is press the button right here that says play. And after it loads, that will open up a screen and the audiobook starts playing right away. So on this screen, you have a couple of different options. You have a play and a pause button down here to stop and then resume playback. And also, if you wanted to skip around to different chapters, you can press the chapters button at the bottom to view a table of contents. Then you could scroll through here, find the chapter that you were listening or looking for. And then as you tap on it, it'll take you straight to that chapter. And same as when you were reading the ebook, if you were to exit out right now and then come back later, Hoopla will save your spot in the book. So you don't need to worry about remembering which chapter you're on. It'll automatically just pick up right where you left off last time. Okay. And then one last thing that I'll show is how to check out movies and TV shows. So those are just another resource that's available to be checked out on Hoopla. We can get to just a list of some recommended movies by using the same list of buttons at the top of the screen. So if I wanted to browse movies, I would just tap on this movies section. And then I see a bunch of recommended movies here. So like, let's say this is one that I wanted to check out. I would tap on it. And again, I would just press on the button that says borrow and then borrow title. Yeah, and just like that, it's checked out. And same as with the audiobook, we see that there's a button that says tap here to download. So if you knew that you wanted to watch this movie offline, you could press the tap here to download button to save it onto your phone, and you'd be able to listen to it offline the same way you could with an audiobook. Yeah, and then to play the movie, you just press this button that says play. And now Zoom screen share won't show the movie, but I can hold up my phone here. You can see that it is playing. And when you tap on the screen, you see similar playback controls that you saw in the audiobook. They work how you'd expect. There's a play pause button, and you can just watch the movie like that. So those are a couple of different resources that I've shown you how to check out on Hoopla. We've gone over how to use the desktop website and also the mobile app. So I hope you're a little bit more familiar and comfortable with checking out resources on Hoopla. And do we have any questions?
We do have quite a few. So leave the phone screen up because we're going to refer to it, I'm sure, as you answer these questions.
Sure.
The first one is kind of a subjective question, but one person wants to know, what is the biggest advantage of Hoopla? And I guess that could be in regard to other ebook services that we offer or versus physical books. But what do you think, John?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest advantage of Hoopla is the wide range of different kinds of books that you can check out. Now we see here at the top, there's audiobooks, there's comics, there's ebooks, movies, music, television shows, bunch of different stuff. Some of the other services that we have, such as Libby, only do ebooks and audiobooks. So having, a wide variety of different types of content to choose from is, in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits to Hoopla.
I would absolutely agree with that. Our next question is how do we return an ebook or whatever else we check out once we're done with it?
Yeah, great question. So ebooks are nice that you don't need to worry about manually having to renew them or return them. What'll happen is when the loan period is over and it's time for the book to be returned, it'll automatically be removed from this list of books that you've checked out. And you won't need to worry about doing anything. There's no fines or anything. It turns itself in automatically.
That is very true. And I'll just add to that, if you do decide that you're done with it and you just don't want to see it in your collection anymore, you do have the option. There's a return button, John, if you were to go to one of your titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just opened up this book here. If I was done with this, you see it says title automatically returns on Thursday, June 22nd. But if I wanted to return it right now, I would press on the button that says return. I would confirm that I want to return it. And it's been returned. So it's no longer in my library. If I were to refresh this page, and it'll be removed from my library there.
Perfect. Okay, another question. What is the limit of titles that can be checked out?
Yeah, so good question. Hoopla works a little bit differently than some other ebook services that you might be familiar with, and differently than how physical books work as well. So you have a limit of 4 items that can be checked out per month, as opposed to a limit of the number of items you can have out at any given time. So on Hoopla, you can check out 4 items every single month.
All right, related question. Someone would like to know, does returning a title provide access to more titles, or does the limit stay the same even if you've returned something?
Yeah, so on Hoopla, the limit does stay the same, even if you return it early. So you can't, check out more than 4 items in a month. If you return them early, it's a limit of 4 items per month, regardless of how long you have them checked out.
All right. Another question is, can more than one person borrow a specific item at a time? So say there are 2 people in our system who both want to check out Harry Potter. Can someone else check it out while you already have it checked out on your account? And the answer to that, I don't know if you know this one, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the answer to that is it depends. More popular, the libraries have limited copies, even though they're electronic, and we could technically have infinite copies because they're just they're bits. The publishers of the books, they want to make money, so they provide us limited numbers of copies to use with our ebook services. So for something like a Harry Potter book, it might have multiple copies and multiple people could check them out. For less popular items, it might be that only one person can have it at a time. So with Hoopla and with some of our other services, you'll see that you can actually get on a wait list. You can put holds on digital items just like you might on a physical book. And then once someone else is done with it, you'll be, and you're next in line, you'll then be able to check it out. And the app will notify you when that happens. Okay. So there's a kind of logistical question in here too, and maybe we can run through the password recovery process. Someone mentioned that they tried to sign up and the password maybe didn't register correctly, so they are not able to sign in. So maybe we can go in and see if you sign out, John, maybe we can see if there's a password recovery option. I'm actually not totally sure about that one.
Yeah, let's take a look. So what I'll do here is I'll just log out of my account. And then, I wanted to log in again, and let's say I had forgotten the password. So in that case, I could click on this forgot your password button right here. And what it'll ask me to do is type in the email address that I used to first create an account with Hoopla. So what I would do is I would type in my email address. And then once you type in your email address, you would press this reset password button, and it would send an email to this email address that you've provided with a link where you can open it and type in a new password for your account.
Perfect. Thank you, John. And there was one part to another question that I actually missed when we answered it, which was, are you able to renew an item that you have checked out on Hoopla?
Yeah. I believe you can, right, Paul?
I actually thought the answer was no, so let's clear that
Okay.
up.
Yeah. Maybe it, yeah, I think you might not be able to, and you just have to like recheck it out.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry, Hoopla does not offer, I was just looking online, I
I
cheated.
see.
Hoopla does not offer renewals, but you, like John said, you can check the item back out if you want to have it again once the return period has passed.
Right. Whatever.
Oh, John, you have a typo in your email address. That's why it's not letting you in.
There it is. And then on the topic of loans and returns and renewals, there's one other thing that I wanted to mention, and it's that most items on Hoopla will have a 21-day or 3-week loan period. Some items will have a shorter one. So if I open up this movie here, movies have a 3-day return period because they're a more in-demand item. So we see this is actually going to automatically return on Sunday, June 4th, which is just 3 days from now. So that's just something to be aware of. If you check out a movie, make sure you watch it within 3 days or it'll be automatically returned and you'll have to check it out again.
All right, great. I do not see any other questions. Since we have a little time, there was one other topic that I thought people might be interested in. And John, if you want to go back to one of the things you have checked out, maybe I can just briefly demo what I'm talking about. So you see next to where it says resume, there is a little heart and the word favorite underneath it. So if you were to tap that and make an item a favorite item, that's actually going to let Hoopla know what kind of things you're interested in. So when you get to your home screen on the app or on your desktop computer, it'll actually tailor recommendations based on the things that you like, like lots of services do nowadays. So if that's something you're interested in, you can start favoriting items that you've checked out that you like, and then you might find that the recommendations get closer to things that you want to check out in the future. And I see another question that just came in, is sharing allowed? So I think by that they mean, can multiple people use the same account? And it is, absolutely. But the benefit of a free service like Hoopla that the library offers is anybody can get their library card for free. So you can, each person can have their own account to use. Maybe you're talking about sharing with someone, who lives abroad, who doesn't have the ability to get Santa Clara City Library card. And the answer then is yes, you will be able to share the account, but the limit of 4 items a month still applies. So you might fill that up pretty quickly with multiple people, using the same account. So that's just something to be aware of if you're going to do that.
Okay, and if you're wondering about this share button right here, yeah, what this will do is when you tap on it, it will open up a menu where you have a couple of different options for apps to share it with. or you can just copy a link to the clipboard. And what that will allow you to do is share, a link to this page in either the app or the website. And what that would just do is allow somebody else to check out this same book or ebook or audiobook or whatever it is using their own account. So this isn't a way to directly send a book to someone. It's just a way to share this page with them so that way they can also check it out if they wanted to.
Excellent. Okay, there is one more question in the chat, and the person maybe is having a problem with the connection between their the app, or they're having problems with their password. That doesn't look like something we will be able to troubleshoot on this class. But if you're having issues, using Hoopla for whatever reason, you are always welcome to, like John said at the beginning of the class, come into the Central Park Library Technology Center. We have knowledgeable people there ready to give you one-on-one help. And if you bring your device in, they can walk you through the whole process and whatever issues you might be having. And that looks to be it for questions.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you're more familiar with how Hoopla works and how you can check out any of the online resources that they have available. A few things just before you leave. As you exit the Zoom meeting, there will be a short survey for how helpful you found this class. We really appreciate it if you fill those out. They give us valuable feedback for future classes we might offer. And if you want to stay up to date with future classes we'll offer and other events from the Santa Clara City Library, you can go to our website, sclibrary.org, and keep an eye on the calendar or sign up for email notifications for future events.